Welcome to Fishbones, one of Talk of the Town's top 10 restaurants. Here we have our custom-built wood-burning pit where we burn the oak wood and the citrus wood every night. We cook about 1,200 degrees on these pits. They're made out of refractory brick and steel and custom-made grids, specially designed to cook fish, in this case at Fishbones. We burn the oak and citrus wood here, and what you see on the wall here is about what we would burn in one night. It's about 2 to 3 cords of wood.
When I started, I met your father. It was in the 80s, and I was in the lawn service at that time. A coal had come in and killed all the orange trees. Just to make money, I had went out and got a contract of removing orange trees, dead orange trees out of the people's yard. And your father had about 8, 9 orange trees in his yard. And he said, sure, I would love to have my trees taken out. He said, but let me ask you one thing. He said, what you do with the wood? I said, well, I throw it away. He said, well, on my trees, what would you charge me for to cut my trees up into pieces of wood and leave it here? Because I'm opening up a restaurant that we're going to use citrus wood. And I said, oh, no problem. So I did his trees. I got the contract to do his trees. So as I dug them out and cut them up, I left to cut the wood up there. So this is how we really got to know each other. So once he found what I was doing, he would want me to let him know wherever I were. And everywhere I would get the wood, I'd cut up stacks of wood and save it for him. And he would come out himself and pick up the wood on Billy Jean, I call it Billy Jean Billy truck, and take it to the restaurant. So for a while that went okay, but I guess he said, this ain't gonna work. So he asked me, how much would I charge him to furnish him wood for Texas Cal or something? This is how we got started together. And your father and I gained a relationship. A very unique relationship, which still we have that. And as he built restaurants, he would ask me to do his wood contract. And I started every one he built, I would take it over. I said it went from maybe 2 or 3 cords of wood per week.
Right.
Each restaurant as it got bigger and bigger and bigger. So to kind of cut it short, from I said 2 or 3 cords of wood per week, to now we're doing about 50 to 60 cords of wood per week. A lot of people, when they see us all this wood on the way, y'all taking all this wood? And I always tell them, it's Talk of the Town, their restaurant.
I know that our secret ingredient is the wood.
Yeah.
And you drive by our restaurants and you smell that wood,
yeah.
And you smell the steaks cooking on that wood, and you know it's going to taste good.
Yeah.
And that's why we just keep this going, and thanks to you, that's how we're going to keep it going. So it takes a lot more effort, but the results speak for themselves.
That's right.
Yep.
And that's what I tell people. I tell people, it's not something you go out and snap your fingers and the wood jump on the truck. It's a lot of work, and I got good people around me. We go out and we cut every day. 5 and 6 days a week. We leave home in the morning time, 6 o'clock. And we get out and we cut. We study work for 5 to 6 hours till we get the truck. So whatever amount of trucks I'm gonna load out to furnish the restaurant wood. And we deliver every day. And it's really a big job. It's much harder than what people would anticipate.
Everybody up and down the street these days cooks on gas.
Yeah.
And all they got to do is turn a knob.
Yeah.
And they got fire.
Yeah.
And we aren't able to do that. We don't want to do that because we'd be like everybody else.
Correct.
Thank you, brother. Looks good. Smells good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. What do you say we dig into this steak?
Sounds good to me.
Smells great, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does smell good.
Yeah.
I want to see what it tastes like myself.
Let's see how that wood flavor makes its way into the steak.
This steak is absolutely the best steak anywhere. It made me want to cut even that much more wood.
Yeah, there you go.